Decorative plumbing, redesigning washrooms, bodies, and trans effects in Dilascofidio Raffaello's Brasserie. The notion of gender and what defines an individual's sexuality is continuously developing and changing alongside cultural and societal beliefs. The black and white categories that position an individual as male or female are becoming less concrete, less rigid, and more forgiving. Hence, within the 21st century, we can see the rise in the queer community, where individuals that choose to identify as gay, lesbian, bisexual, intersex, transgender, and a range of other non-heterosexual gender normative identities are now more celebrated within society. However, within this reading, Decorative Plumbing, Redesigning Washrooms, Bodies and Trans Effects by Lucas Cassidy Crawford discusses how washrooms take the place of the closet when it comes to the transgender in this century. Through distinctions of male and female, inside, outside, public and private, subject and object, the fluidity between gender and sexuality is being oppressed and forced into social constructs. Washrooms and the metaphorical idea of one's plumbing forces individuals to make a binding decision on whether they must enter the female or male bathrooms. That within the closet that washrooms place us, bodily desires cannot be spoken in a broken homophobic culture. Crawford uses Dilascofidio's Renfo's Brasserie restaurant in New York City as the setting for him to explore and contrast ideas of privacy, hygiene, and comfort. The restaurant, which is located in the basement of the Seagram building, breaks the usual constructs of a regular white and pristine bathroom. Within are burnt orange trucks used by men and women, cameras to remove all privacy outside the bathrooms, and obscure choices of plumbing and architecture that are used to form public and private spheres. The restaurant presents the question of what is the need of sex segregation by grouping people on the basis of their genitals and forcing them to decide upon which washroom they must enter. My chosen artifact is a replica of the Weasley chair by Marcel Breu in 1925. It was one of the most iconic pieces to come out of the Bauhaus period. It is believed that the concept of such an innovative chair came from the notion of why can't a bicycle be made into a chair? This challenging thinking brought about a chair that was both practical and engaging to modern sensibilities. The design of Marcel Breu came to be daring and immense shift from the ornate and decorative chairs of the past, as he broke away from rigid ideals of what was classified as normal and traditional. This chair, situated in our dining room area, is something that we use every day to enjoy meals and gather together in the one space. In the reading, Crawford discusses how many Bauhaus designers such as Mies van der Rohe and Le Corbusier believed that decoration is added as a kind of mask. That white, smooth architecture and design is not just about a certain look of cleanliness, but also about cleansing of the look, a hygiene of vision itself, according to Le Corbusier. Hence, the Weasley armchair was stripped back of all its natural elements, with its black canvas upholstery and chrome-plated steel. The chair truly embodies the fundamental values advocated by the Bauhaus philosophy, that form follows function. Crawford makes note that within this reading of modern design and bare spaces were aligned with the plague and deeply ingrained racism in North America. That white, sterile, industrial bathrooms are rooted in the colonial angst about racial and class mixing that dates all the way back to the 18th century. This idea of imperative for whiteness is something that we all associate with clean, sterile, and pure. That germs, and in the case of the plague, such as a leper, is associated with dirt, danger, and disease. This is all linked to gender according to Crawford. Most bathrooms that we are presented with nowadays are bare, stripped of all ornamentation, and are extremely white. It creates a subconscious belief that we are in a clean place and that it poses no risk of us catching any disease that may live or be inhibited in a bathroom. Like the Weasley chair, there is no decoration to disguise. There is no ornamentation, as some Bauhaus designers believed it is too closely associated as a degenerative female trait. Therefore, its lack of decoration and embellishment is also a display of male power and dominance. Michael Bullock states in his programs and manifestos on 20th century architecture, a modern home appropriate to him and his time, equipped with all the modern devices of daily use. It must serve its purpose perfectly, that is, it must fulfill its function usefully, be durable and economical and beautiful. The Weasley chair and the white modern bathroom are closely linked to the idea that one must purify the space, remove all decoration for it to be considered as something untainted and clean, that gender should be pure, unpolluted and unchanged. Juxtaposing to this, the Dilla, Scofidio and Ruffinero's Brasserie decided to create a washroom where there are no white structures. The sink is not separated nor divided. Instead, there is a large horizontal basin where males and females wash their hands together. The matte orange colour used to make the appearance of dirt and grime harder to see as it washes down the single drained sink. This architectural design has completely disregarded the notion by Le Corbusier that hygiene is vision, and that excessive colour, to Le Corbusier, was an immoral and effeminate architectural designer. Crawford states that this restaurant, situated in New York City, goes beyond breaking down architectural gender barriers to actually hint at a reconfiguration of the spatial organisation of self. This disruption ultimately challenges the idea that our convention of cleanliness and body maintenance are without history and without alternative. Lucas Crawford's decorative plumbing, redesigning washrooms, bodies and trans effects brings to surface the notion of gendered and ungendered spaces and how they ultimately affect how we choose to identify oneself. On the surface, the washroom is simply a place that we use every day, and it is nothing but an essential task in excreting waste from our hands to go into the bathroom. However, when you look deeper into its architectural and interior design, it shows how society still chooses to divide people into distinct male and female groups. They are completely isolated from each other, with no room for middle ground or grey area. It is evident that it is a means of discouraging and excluding queer individuals, and we have not shifted from our outdated heterosexual views. The Weasley chair is a symbol of this mindset. It was created purely for the upper-class male, with its structural bolts, supporting steel beams, to be a piece of furniture that admits dominance and heightens male superiority over its female counterparts. It does not encourage freedom of expression or non-heterosexual identities. It is an object that presents how society used to believe in segregation of race, colour, religion, and gender. That these stereotypes are how you must identify yourself and how you should present yourself to the wider community. As a society, we must strive towards removing all these barriers and subconscious cues that normalise particular types of gendered behaviour and spaces. We need to construct architectural and design spheres that do not oppress or bound individuals, instead liberate them through the power of design. My questions to you are: would you feel comfortable using a unisex bathroom in a public place where urinals are unheated and cubicle doors are partially transparent, completely shared between everyone? My second question is, do you believe that the current gendered washrooms can create unsafe spaces where isolation and privacy can make females or males at a greater risk or an easier target for an assault or any other dangers. Thank you for listening.